Hello, good evening, good Tuesday afternoon. This is Dr. Wiley White Jr., host of the Power to the People broadcast. Thank you for tuning in today. Today is a special day for me to share with you. It's concerning people that are have been affected by COVID, as I have, and we have a few that's going to come on and share with us. The most important thing about COVID 19, if you survive uh, death or not having to succumb to death, the next worst thing, in my opinion, is um, COVID long haul. We have a few COVID long haulers across the country, and this is like symptoms that stay within you in your body, and some have had it for ever since March, and I am one that's had it since December, and so it is a struggle every day. It's something that you do not want to have, and I pray that we continue to be safe and wear your mask. Um, Without further ado, I want to say hello to Mr. Amos and Reverend Felder and Pastor Curry. Good to see you. Mother and Reverend George, good to see you guys. Thank you so much. And I want to give a quick shout out to my Destiny Church. Um, they are the best members that any pastor could have. They've supported me and pushed me, cared for me during this time, and have loved me dearly. So I am so grateful to have a such a caring flock to deal with me and deal with this issue for as long as we've been dealing with it. But we're going to bring up those who share this with me, and we're first going to bring up Mr. Uh, Willie Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, doing well.
All right. You look like me when somebody asks that question. It's like rather not. I know how it's feeling, but okay. We just say you're doing well, so you don't ask too many other questions, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and when did you first get COVID, and where you're from.
My name is Willie Mitchell. I reside in Greenwood, South Carolina. Uh, where my pastor is Apostle Chester and Pastor Joanne Miller. Um, it started back in August of last
Mm.
year, August 30th, and ended up in the hospital clear up until November 6th is when I got
Okay.
out.
Okay. All right. Well, hold it right there. Um, we'll get some more information going out once we get our lineup up. That's good start. It was since August. My. Okay. All right. Thank you for being with us on today and sharing
No
with us.
problem.
All right. And then we'll have next Miss Tammy Montgomery. Welcome to Power to the People, Miss Montgomery. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, as you said, I'm Tammy Montgomery, and I have been in law enforcement for 25 years. My battle with COVID started in December.
December.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with COVID, and in a span of 14 days, I went from COVID to pneumonia to a heart attack.
Wow. Okay, well, you hold it right there too. We got a lot to share today, so we'll bring up our next guest, and last but not least is Pastor Thessa Smith. Pastor, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and when did you first contract COVID?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pastor Thessa Smith. I'm from Greenwood, Carolina. I was diagnosed last year. I am currently now I'm a full-time pastor. At the time, I was bivocational. I was working. So it's good to be here and good to be able to see you all.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. So again, I want to say thank you all for sharing your time with us. And I know it's difficult to make a lot of time for different people, but I pray that people will be made aware of what's out there and what COVID can do through your sharing. Now, it's more than just the four of us that have it. The numbers have been growing. I reached out to several different groups, the support groups, and there were personnel just was kind of camera shy. So I'm grateful that you guys were not, and that your testimony and about what you've gone through will help somebody either prevent themselves or their families from getting COVID altogether, or help deal with it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on in here. I have first question I want to ask you guys is, how long have you been a hauler, and what symptoms do you still struggle with? I think most of you mentioned when you had it, but if for those who are just coming on, if you can repeat when you first contracted it, and let us know what type of symptoms you have. And I'll start off. I December the 10th is when I was diagnosed, and I never had a fever. I had headaches, which I still have probably once or twice a week. Fatigue is every single day. Is my biggest struggle of the day is trying to get out of bed in the morning. And like Pastor Smith, I've pretty much now I've gone full-time pastoring, but after each teaching, even after this show, if I talk too much, it's going to take me about 2 days to recover. So I have the headaches, shortness of breath, extreme fatigue, and chest pains. And still not sure what the chest pains are about. I've gone through all different types of tests, and I have one scheduled for Friday, a stress test to make sure there's no clotting. I never went into the hospital, but that's my symptoms. So let's see who we got. Let's go to Pastor Smith. Would you tell us what your symptoms are?
Yeah. Again, I was diagnosed October the 30th. I remember because it was right before Halloween. I didn't have a fever or anything like that. I originally just thought I was having sinus. My throat was scratchy and I had a mild headache. I had been testing at least once a month, and I went in. It was the end of the month, so it was time for me to go and get retested, and that's when I found out I was positive. I didn't go. I didn't lose my appetite. Was still able to eat. Didn't lose my own. Had a good appetite and all of that. The problem that I did have, like you, Dr. White, I had shortness of breath. Couldn't talk. If I talked a lot, I would lose my voice. The things that I'm suffering with now and dealing with now, as they call it, COVID brain, I will forget. My memory, I have real bad short-term memory. I will forget people's names. If I don't have it written out in front of me, I will forget your name. And if I'm working on a project, I will have, if I call someone on the phone, make sure exactly what I was going to talk about and who I was talking to, because I would forget. I still have a little fatigue. It took me almost 2 months before I felt like my old able to get up and go. I did not go into the pulpit for over a month because I just did not have the energy to do that. But now I still have to watch myself, pace myself. I still have headaches occasionally, But the biggest problem that I'm dealing with is, as they call it, COVID brain. Because I just forget and won't remember things.
Okay. Yes, that was one that I left off out of,
But now
out
I
of
did
4 or
not.
5.
Yeah.
Yes. And I the COVID brain, COVID fog,
Yeah. And
another
I just
brain
did over
fog.
the county. Yeah.
Okay. And Brother Mitchell, what symptoms do you currently have now after, was it August that you?
Yes, it started in August, the end part of August, where I went in my job and they test you before you go into the kitchen, in which I am a pastry chef. So they checked me before I went into the kitchen. My temperature was 103. And they wouldn't allow me to go into the kitchen, send me straight on to the emergency room to where it went to 105. And they told me they wouldn't let me go because my oxygen level had dropped. Next thing I know, they were sending me to the ICU unit to where I woke up the middle part of October.
Wow.
And that's when they finally released me from the hospital in the middle of November, well, beginning of November, to where now I still struggle from shortness of breath, very extreme fatigue. Um, they call it hyper orthostatic hypertension, to where my blood pressure drops when I stand up. Uh,
So have you been able to work?
as of August, no, I have not.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I haven't heard of the blood pressure issues before, but
As well as what you say, the brain fog.
right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And Miss Tammy, what symptoms are you still struggling with since October?
December.
December. You and I December. That was, I got you.
Yes. Since then I still have the headaches. The fatigue is one of my biggest things. I have a foggy brain. If I don't write it down at that moment, I can't walk from point A to point B and remember what I was going to write down. So I have to keep a pen and paper on me at all times. I still have the shortness of breath. And it's just a struggle on a daily basis, where I used to go all day and I was fine. Now, when I leave work, I have to come home and take a nap before I can finish out the rest of my evening. And I'm only 48. So going from COVID diagnosis, 5 days later, going to having pneumonia, diagnosed with pneumonia, and then 5 days after that, having a heart attack and having to have a stent put in.
Now, the heart attack came from the COVID. I mean, stimulated.
Yeah, they're thinking it was stimulated from COVID.
Okay. Wow. So let me ask you this. This for me. I don't know about Pastor Smith or Mitchell. So the chest pains, do you like have a heaviness of chest pains but prior to, or did it just happen?
I did. When I went, I was diagnosed on the 17th with COVID. On the 23rd, I actually started experience. I couldn't breathe, catch my breath. So I went to the ER and they said it was pneumonia. They gave me an inhaler, which helped a little bit. But 5 days later, it was different. It actually woke me up early that morning on the 28th. And I had severe pressure, like somebody was actually sitting on my chest. And then it was a very uncomfortable, I don't know to describe it as a pain, but it was an uncomfortable feeling between my shoulder blades and my back.
Now, do you have that now still?
I don't have that now, not that pain, but I do experience some chest pain. But if I rest or lay down, it kind of eases off or goes away eventually, but it comes back.
Now you have to lay down on your stomach or laying on your back?
On my side.
On your side. Okay. Okay. Well, that's why I hope that our audience, or if you catch COVID, you will remember some of these things, even because while she's speaking, it validates more to me than what my doctors have been able to tell me. So now to know that the heaviness in the chest that I've been having could possibly, even though my heart's been checked out very well and they're gonna do a stress test on Friday, but this thing, man, you just never know. And laying down on your back or in a recliner causes the heaviness of the chest to be even worse.
Right, it does.
Yeah. So, man. All right. So let's, Pastor Smith, and just, I know the doctors probably, if the doctors have not diagnosed you with damage, do you feel as though it may be some permanent damage in one of your areas, such as when Sister Tammy, Miss Tammy, mentioned about her being 48. Sometimes this thing make you feel like you're about 88.
Oh yeah.
So do you feel like now I'm 55 and I definitely I'm close to 100. But Pastor Smith, do you feel like there may be permanent damage?
I'm 65. I guess I'm the old lady of the group. I'm 65. Yeah, but I don't think I have any permanent damage. I guess the only thing to be checked is brain. It's the only thing that wasn't checked. So, but I don't right now. There has not been a reason to have further testing done. So I really don't know if there's been any permanent damage to anything, any of my organs. I guess that's wait and see what happens. I know that is one of the things that people are waiting, a big question mark. But once I went back after we were released, my husband and I both had COVID at the same time. And when we went back, we were just, since we didn't have symptoms, we were okay and we did not need to do anything else. So we didn't have any further testing or anything.
Well, has anyone else had any brain testing? I haven't done that. I haven't thought about it. You had? Okay.
I've had a couple of MRIs.
MRIs.
Yeah, okay. And they saw there was something going on with my brain.
So they didn't find anything, or did they?
They did not find anything wrong with my brain. They also checked my lungs, to where they said my lungs were clear, but I'm the praise worship leader at my church. So right now for me, it's hard to sing, it's hard to talk. I also have problems right now with my kidneys. They said my kidneys took a major blow, to where I'm going through dialysis now.
Man.
At first they were saying it's hopeful, we're hopeful, but within 90 days it turned into, well, we'll see.
Now, from what I understand, that they're in the condition that you are in, there's yet still no disability for his state disability. Is that right? as far as what I understand, are they offering you permanent disability?
Well, I guess with that point, with God's help, I've already been on disability for a while because of my legs.
Oh, that was before COVID, right?
This was prior, yes,
Okay.
prior to COVID.
Well, thank God. Because from what I understand, if nothing has been updated, that there is absolutely um, no funds set aside, or they haven't um, made it a law for it to be a part of unemployment, not unemployment, but disability.
Mm.
And so, Miss Pastor Smith, did you work with disability? What was you worked with the unemployment office, was it?
I did not work with disability. My husband,
Oh,
yeah, I worked with the county, but I was going to put on my HR hat a little bit to kind of help you with that question. They don't have with disability. It's based on the disability itself. It's not necessarily what have you. So if you have like
okay.
permanent long down or kidney failure where you're unable to work, what you end up doing for that is getting a doctor's excuse, and then you present that to disability. So the fact that you have COVID of it, that can create a disability, which would make you able to receive
Okay.
disability. So
Okay.
it's not one per se, and they probably won't just do it per se to say COVID,
Right.
but they look at your health and what that caused that makes you unable to work.
Got you. I see now. And that's
But
just
now
like,
I understand, Mr. Mitchell, you say you were already doing disability.
Yes.
okay. All right. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. And Miss
Yeah.
Tammy, do you feel like you have some permanent damage?
Well, I know I do
Oh,
to my heart. They've because of what I went through, they diagnosed me with congestive heart failure. But
oh,
I'm not sure about my brain, but I know there's a big difference. Because I haven't been tested on my brain, but I know there's a big difference in the way I can remember things and
mhm.
do things.
Okay. All right. And you just wonder how much your body can actually
Mm.
take for it to not to be permanent damage. Just slight of a miracle. But so,
Mhm.
um, all right. So let's look at what tests have you had and what were the results? Okay, we pretty much covered that one.
Mhm.
Unless somebody wanted to add to that, I think well, brain testing was the big one, I guess. Um, any other tests that you've had then that you want to share that I may have missed? All right, here's the big one. This one I got a problem with. What is your doctor saying about your condition?
Mm.
Let me say what he's saying. Mine.
My doctor,
Go ahead. That was you, Pastor Smith.
okay,
Go ahead.
my doctor, yeah, that was me. Our doctor told us we didn't have to come back for at least 90 days. We got the antibodies, so we are good to go. And that was it.
Right, right. That's the sentiments I'm kind of getting. I went. I tell you, really upset me the last time I went. Um, you get the sentiments that sometimes that you're not feeling the way you're feeling, that they don't think you're feeling the way you're feeling. Would upset me the last time I went about 3 weeks ago. And I've been seeing this doctor at least on 3, maybe 4 occasions with running so many different tests. And so I had a test done right before I went in. So the question was, what was I there for? And we're just gonna have to ride it out. And then I get that, but it seems like it just since they don't know, it's almost like some just don't care anymore. And I know anybody can get fatigued with their job, and but in this area there is just a few for its long haulers. Um, so have you, Miss Tammy, had any I say bad energy from your doctors?
I have had a little from my cardiologist, because my cardiologist actually, after I got out of the hospital, he assigned me to the nurse practitioner in his office. So it's just kind of, it's going to take time,
Yeah.
But my family physician, I have a really good one, and she actually listens to how I tell her my body feels, because she says I know my body better than anybody else.
Right.
Right. So she kind of tries to help me with what she can, as far as the fatigue and the brain fog and everything, but they all still say it's going to take time.
Okay. Well, okay. And if the audience, if you're listening, if you have any questions while we're going through this, please put it in the comment section. We'll get around to it. Mr. Mitchell, how are your doctors? Yours is, I would imagine yours see your stuff, so it's not no second guessing what's going on with you.
Yes. Yeah.
So
The main, just being candid and being a believer, you receive a whole lot of discouraging words.
mm-hmm.
And I have one doctor, my nephrologist on one end, he's saying it's not looking well, it's not looking good. But my primary physician, she's like, we're still going to remain hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I just try to believe, just trust
Right.
that I've been able to get up and walk, to where I had to learn how to walk all over again, had to learn how to hold a fork. So I've learned how to do all that. So I just believe that everything else is going to fall into place.
Okay. Well, good. We're about halfway there, halfway done, and I'll let you guys go. But before we do that, I want to ask if what part of your life this condition has affected the most. Um, Pastor Smith, can you hear me, Pastor Smith? We'll go to Mr. Mitchell.
Oh, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
I didn't hear that last part. Yeah,
okay.
I'll start off. Yeah. Again, memory loss is the biggest thing with me. I'm just not remembering. I'm not on my A game like I normally would be. And that part has affected me a great deal, and also my energy level. Like the rest of you, I will tire and have to take breaks. So it's a good thing I'm now not working on another full-time job, because I can kind of pace myself. But I don't have as much energy and just don't remember what I'm supposed to be doing or what I am doing. Those are the two things that have affected me the most.
Well, did it affect you where you chose not to go back to your secular job?
Well, I'm 65, so I could retire.
Oh, wow. Well, you
Yes. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Well, you don't look 65. You may feel 65, but you don't look 65. So I was wondering. All right. Then Miss Tammy, how has it affected your life?
Just the fatigue is a big issue for me. And because of what I do, I have to be on my A game at all times.
With your pad and pencil.
Yeah, and being in law enforcement, I just have to, be sharp-minded, and that really bothers me because I'm not used to being like that or depending on other people, even for my household duties. Just pushing a vacuum cleaner or trying to sweep the floor, I'm out of breath. Um, so my family has stepped in to do those things that like really make me tired. Um, I'm currently in rehab for the heart attack and doing that 3 days a week, plus working a full-time job. I'm exhausted by the time I get home.
Oh man. Now, are you on patrol? Are you
I work
working?
in the detention center.
Okay. Are you at a desk?
I am, because most of my work is desk work, but the work that I used to do out, I have wonderful coworkers.
Okay,
So
good.
when I came back, they're like, stay in the office, take care of your stuff. We got the floor stuff. So they're really working with me. I was looking at retiring, and after getting COVID and having a heart attack, I am planning on retiring in July because I have 25 years in.
Okay.
So that kind of helps me out too.
Good. Well, I'm glad this kind of worked out for us in the sense that we are able to retire and hopefully get some disability. Well, I was in the educational system, and so I am going to be officially retiring at the end of this school year. The part of my life that is affected the most is well, my church like to consider me an energetic person, energizer bunny, but that is no more. And just the struggle to preach and teach, I it's I don't know how to explain that. I can watch Pastor Thessa or somebody with all the energy and just wish I had had it doing preaching or teaching. And so that has changed my life a lot. I don't go out as much at all. And one of the reasons I don't want to contract it a second time with the symptoms that I do have, the second reason is I just don't have the energy to go out. But I'm grateful to my church that we have pretty much gone 100% in the last 3 weeks. We've gone 100% virtual, and so that helps out a lot. And so other than that, that's the bigger effect. Now retiring earlier than I really wanted to, for as the educational piece. So, well, I'm going to ask if there's any question from. Let's see if there's any question from our audience, and we're going to take a 90-second break, and I'll be right back with our guests. I'm going to get a few commercials out, and we'll be back in 90 seconds. Panel, I'll be right back with you. All righty, we're going to share a few things with the audience right quick. If you will hold on for just a second, we're going to go ahead and shout out some good people, some business owners. Adrian and Asia Carroll up in the MVD, what they call it, DMV area, Washington D.C., Northern Virginia, and Maryland area. Yard card on the green. They put up posters, put up birthday, any type of celebration that you have. They put those cards up in your yard. You can contact them through, I think it's www.yardcardonthegreen.com. And Adrian. And if you want to reach out to me, I can get you more information. You can reach out to me to my destiny, cc at yahoo.com. And then we have Mrs. Jefferson, Sharon Jefferson, and Sandra. They have their Avon, and if you want to get paid to or either shop, you can contact them at the following telephone numbers. If there is some information you want to get to them or any more questions, you can contact me again at mydestinycc at yahoo.com. And then we have Miss Latoya Thunderbird, Esquire. Thunderbird Law Firm serves New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Manhattan, Bronx, New Jersey, and they work on all type of cases for you: general cases, divorce cases, all kind of cases. If you look up their website, and you'll see all that they will handle for you if you get in contact with Miss Latoya Thunderbird. And then last but not least is Miss Natasha, owner of Paralico business, where while you tend to the business, we have our passion. She's helping is our passion. And Paralegal Leo means help, and she comes alongside to help you with your business, whatever you need in the area of management, office management, and also as myself as the executive director of productions. You can hire us to do your advertisements, whether it's church, business, or either do your live stream production. So you can get in contact with her or me again at My Destiny CC, and we'll get you information out to you. All right, we're coming back with our panel. All right, and we're going to wrap up here in another about 10 minutes. We're going to ask one more question: how are you handling the life-altering experiences? We've Tammy shared how her family and her co-workers are helping her out. Same with me. Again, I mentioned how I'm blessed to have my church adapting and helping me out. But I don't want to leave off my my schools here in Chesterfield County School District, and my principal. They are helping me out tremendously. So I'm grateful for the people that God has placed around me. Of course, First Lady Michelle takes up a lot of slack. I'm sure she will want me to do a little bit more around the house, but I try to do all I can, as much as I can. But that is a big help, having those who understand what you're going through. Brother Mitchell, what part of all that you've listed, which one of those are the most altering part of your life, that has altered your life the most?
Well, I enjoy singing. So I would say that would be one of the main ones. I enjoy decorating cakes. And that is not really put it to a halt, but it's slowed down extremely.
Okay. Now, when you sing, how many songs do you sing a Sunday?
It used to be like 3.
Wow.
When I first started back, it was like one song, and then possibly 2 if I could. Now I just have to hold on to the wall, make sure my legs will start trembling and my hands start shaking, and I'll be like, yeah, it's time to stop.
Brother Mitchell, how is your faith? And this setting is generally not for to talk too much church or Christian stuff. We try to leave it wide open to talk and go whatever area. But I can't help but ask, what is it that keeps you going?
I'm not gonna lie. At first, my faith was very shaky.
Mm-hmm.
how would you say, wavering
Yes.
at first, because I know I was told I died, and God brought me back. So that's my belief. God's love brought me back, and that's what I believe. I'm going to keep on going as long as my wife is still with me.
Mm-hmm.
My children, they're supportive, even though they're teenagers going every which way. They're supportive. So I believe it may take a while, but I believe it's gonna come to fruition.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good for somebody to know. It's like me.
Mhm.
uh, I would almost venture to say that my faith hasn't been shaken, but I wonder about the faith of those who look up to me,
Mhm.
that I've been a pillar of faith and
Mhm.
strength, even in my community, um, and to see me to this point. I kind of wonder what the Lord is doing.
Mhm.
But I do believe in a study series that we're in now about faith, um, that is more than just the now. It's more than what's on earth, but what we believe that God will do for us. It's not about just here, but also um, in the other world that He has for us. So, um, so Smith, what for is your um, life altering experience with your brain fog or COVID fog? What have you leaned on the most to get you through this?
But, yeah, as a pastor, the thing that I always had notes, but a lot more on my notes, so that I don't forget what I'm supposed to be preaching about.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is the fact that we are doing Facebook Live and we have abbreviated services. So I don't have to preach as long, which, keeps me from giving out of breath with that. Um, my faith has continued to stay strong. When I first told I was positive, I had a just like, I don't believe I got it. I don't believe I got it. Of all people, I just don't believe I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted probably about an hour or so. It did. It took me back for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I looked at a message I had preached just a week before saying through, but God is going to be there to help you get through whatever you're going through. Hold on. And I'm preaching to others. I said that message was for me. It was getting ready for what I'm
Right.
going through, what I was about to go through. So it just helped me to hold on to my faith and to know that God is real, to actually put my faith in practice,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get doubtful, other than that first hour. I'm going to admit that when I was first told, yes, I was shaken to my core. I was shaken, but then I held on. God just picked me up and held me close. So it is a life altering situation, because I know I could have died.
Mm-hmm.
I have been sick. I mean, had much worse symptoms than I had. And I know it was simply God's grace, through all of that I had to go through it. So
Yes, and
it
I
made
tell you about
to
me. I
God
was
and just trust Him more and love Him more. Yeah.
right. Yes, and when we're limited, that all we it quickens us to rely on Him more. And I I tell you, when I first got it, I kind of knew that I was going to In the last 2-3 years, the Lord has really been showing me things before it happened. Even for our congregation, and I kind of thought that I would get it, but and it was the main reason why I decided to close the church almost a year ago now, almost a whole year. But we just had a skeleton team for its praise team and officers to come out. But I think back to if I had not closed the church when I did, when I caught it, that I could have spreaded it to other parishioners, especially my senior citizens, and as bad as it has done to my body, I can imagine if I had spread it to somebody in the congregation that it could have been devastating. So, and when I caught it, I didn't even fight it. I when I say I didn't fight it, I just surrendered to whatever it was going to do but I wouldn't even go to the hospital. I did not want to go to the hospital. I did not want to, and if I was going to die, I didn't want to die in a hospital alone. And so my family from Greenwood and everywhere else called, blew up my wife's phone to try to get me to go. And my sister-in-law that lives right next door, my wife's brother's spouse, she called, and my wife put her on a speakerphone, and her voice went into a deep bass, and she was yelling that for me to get out and go to the hospital at least for the sake of my family. And then she had to mention my grandbaby. So when she said that, I jumped up and went on in. But yeah, so that's my little spiel there. And Sister Tammy, I think you told us most of, like you said, your job, your coworkers have been there to help with altering your experience in your family. So that's good.
Yes, yes.
All right, and we have one more. That's okay. We pretty much covered this one, but if there's any more you want to share on that, has your job or family been able to have empathy with a rare, unpopular health condition? When I'm asking there is, have your family been able to, and friends, been able to have empathy or feel your desperation or feel where your condition? Pastor Smith?
I think overall, yes. But then there were a few, had a few, that I was going through some difficulties. Actually, I was working on my provisional elder for the United Methodist Church, and during that time, it was like a 100-page. When I finished up everything, over 100 pages of information, questions, and answers that I had to do. You know, just detail, systematic theology and all of that, and with all the background and all of that. For him to take a look at it, you know, to make sure I had dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's. And when I got my paper back, you missed this, you missed this, you missed this, you missed this. And I was talking to my friend about it, and I said, you know, that's what I asked you to look at. He said, but I was so mad at you because you didn't do it right. I said, but I didn't know how to do. I mean, I thought I was doing it right. I said, remember, I had COVID.
Yeah.
Do something. I wasn't doing it. And it just hit them the extent of what I was going through. And I said, I knew how to do it once I got through it. I knew, but doing that, I not know what to do. So I don't think all the time that they're not clear what you're going through. They think, well, you're just being lazy or you just don't want to do something. And that's the case. And even with family members, they'll want me to do, because I'm the one that always get up and go take care of everything, take care of everybody. And I've had to stop. I've had to pull back and say, I just can't physically do this. I can't physically do that. I have to stop and take a rest. I say I can't. I know where my reaching points, and I can tell when I'm about to get there. So I've learned how to say no. I learned how to put it on and say I can't do something, that's hard for me, but I learned how to do it and not just push myself. Right. So that's a learning part for me, as well as some family members. At the same time, he understands, and neither one of us push the other. When one say, I need to take a break, we understand, okay, you take a break, you rest. And sometimes we have to remind the other, you need to take a break, and rest.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things I've learned, that
that was it.
Yeah, just knowing when to just do what I can do. And that's my theme now. Do what I can do the best I can do. And I have such a spirit of excellence that it drives me crazy that I can't get things done as soon as I wanted to get it done. But I just ask those around me, just let me do what I can, the best I can. So, Miss Tammy, do you feel like your family actually feels where you're coming from?
Yes, my family actually, they are really, really supportive.
I was about to say, Dr. White, I think that comes from that spirit of excellence, comes from my mentor, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, yes. Yes.
My family, they're really, really supportive. My friends are really supportive. My friends actually hold me accountable on the days I don't have rehab. They have me at a gym, or they have me outside walking around the track. They push me, but don't push me too much. They try to make sure that I'm doing strengthening exercises to kind of get my strength back. So they're really, really supportive on that aspect.
Well, that's my next step. I was talking to a friend of mine today that has Parkinson's disease, and we did a lot for our community, for our youth together, and it's amazing to see our kids, our baby kids, about to graduate from school, and as much as we did for them when they were grown, smaller, not able to actually even be on the court to watch them play ball their last year. It's been kind of heartbreaking. But I mentioned to him that I was going to start in another week. I want to try to start walking or something. And my wife is an avid exerciser, per se, physical fit person, and she used to make me feel kind of bad, but hopefully that will satisfy her, just to see me walk up the driveway or whatever. So, okay.
And the main thing with that, Dr. White, is when you're walking, my doctor told me to make sure, because it affects your heart, don't walk outside in extreme heat or extreme cold.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right. Okay. Now we have a treadmill with that thing. I'll be so scared to get on, because I even told them, the doctors, that I didn't want to get on a treadmill for the stress test. So I doubt if I want to get on it, even just to walk. So I feel better probably walking outside. I'll try that.
Yeah. Now I know some YMCAs have indoor tracks. That's where I go. When it's cold or hot outside, I join the Y. So I walk in the inside track. Walk on the
Okay.
inside.
Okay. That sounds. I don't think we have that around here, but um, um, Reverend Rivers, that is an excellent question. I hope you're still on. We're going to go to that after I ask Mr. Willie, and but that's an excellent question. So hold on, Reverend Rivers. So Willie, how do you think your family empathize with you? They feel where you're coming from.
Well, like I said, with dealing with teenagers, having 4 teenagers,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see it's hard on them, but they don't want to express their feelings. But they do help out. My wife, she's been my rock.
Good.
Um, Between her and my pastor and apostle, they really do help out. My boss, surprisingly, called me a couple of weeks ago, wanted me to come in to work to do some cakes for him, and I told him, unfortunately, my doctor hasn't released me yet, but eventually, hopefully soon, I will be able to go back to work. To where they told me I do have positions still open.
Okay. Well, good, good. Well, and Pastor, my doctor told me I should only preach about 15 minutes, and I haven't been able to do it yet. So, and I pay for it every day. But Pastor mentioned our
Okay.
mentor. We have the same
Wow.
mentor in the late Ed F. Johnson, late Dr. Ed F. Johnson of Greenwood, South Carolina, Mars Chapel Baptist Church. All right. So we have you limited your time on preaching, Pastor Smith?
I beg your
I
pardon.
said, have you intentionally?
I didn't hear your question.
Have you intentionally limited your time in preaching?
Well, I'm United Methodist now, so you know we're like 15, 20 minutes anyway. But it has limited. So 20 minutes I can feel myself. If I go past 20 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes, I have gotten up to 30 minutes, but it's a stretch and it's a haul to do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, and with me, and we're gonna go to a question that we have. And I'm not sure if it's the same with you, Miss Willie. With preaching, if I can get a rhythm, now I do feel it, but if I can get a rhythm, I feel better. Now, until afterwards, then that's when it just rains down on me. But now it's difficult, like what I'm doing now, where I'm sitting and teaching is extremely more difficult. So I'm not sure if because my upper part is sitting low or what have you. But so when you're singing, does a rhythm help you, Mr. Mitchell?
No,
No.
no, unfortunately not. No, not in that case. No.
Okay.
I tend to get real short-winded and out of breath really quick, and then
Oh,
I'll start coughing.
okay. So I guess it's different. Everything is different for everybody. I guess you guys find where you fit in best.
Hmm.
Okay. So Reverend Rivers asked a good question here. Have any of you taken the vaccine, or do any of you plan to take it, or can you take it even though you've already had COVID? Well, Reverend Rivers, I will be first to say that I asked my doctor, my family doctor here in town, and then I asked my Veterans Administration medical team. Even though I've had it, they said yes to take it. Now, here's the thing. I took it just Saturday, and I feel horrible. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of the symptoms that were still in me. And they got the Johnson and Johnson here, and so they immediately went to that. I think they got it in on Thursday, and so they scratched the vaccines that they had to do the one shot with the Johnson and Johnson. So I am concerned, even now as I speak, whether or not it's just the vaccine or where there's have I sustained some more damage. So I'm going to give it another week, and then go back and go to the doctors and see if anything has happened to my body. So it's a good question. Willie, have you taken the vaccine?
I have not taken the vaccine yet.
I have.
I will.
Yeah.
Hold on just a minute there, Pastor Smith. Willie, you were saying that had your doctors approved for you did they say you could take it?
They asked me, have I planned on taking it? And I guess because we have a large elderly community there, I guess they're up first. So they haven't really pushed the issue
Okay.
as far as me getting the vaccine yet.
Okay. Will you take it? Or is that private? I know LeBron kept it private.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
it's not private. Like I said, if I'm pushed to take it or suggested to, I will. I will.
Well, I decided to take it because I felt like if I contracted the virus again with these symptoms that I already have, that it
Mm.
could be devastating. So otherwise, I don't know if I would take it because I still had that trust factor with our country and this
Mm.
thing just being so quick.
Mm.
So, Miss Tammy, have you taken the vaccine?
I have not taken it. I am on the list to take it, but I was advised to wait 90 days before I took it because my body still has the antibodies.
See, and that's the thing. The thing is, oh my God. So they don't know. They really, and I'm trying not to come over as though I'm knocking the medical field or knocking the doctors, but I do believe that if they don't know, they should just be quiet.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that's hunting me, that they did not know, and now I'm inside of 90 days, and but they said it would be okay. So I don't know.
Yeah, and even my cardiologist told me
And,
the
and,
same
and
thing. He was like, wait till your 90 days are up because your body still has the original antibodies. The vaccine is artificial antibodies.
Mhm.
So let your body do what it can do, and then get your vaccine.
See, all that made sense to me, but I asked both sides, and they said,
Mhm.
yeah, go ahead. So, Pastor, have you taken it?
I've taken both. I did the Moderna.
Okay.
I did my second shot, second vaccine this past weekend, this past Friday. I haven't had any problems. Again, it comes to you got to know your own body. You got to know what you're going through, and that's pretty much what my doctor said. You have one side that say wait 90 days. You have another one that say wait 30 days. Part of that is you got to know yourself, your body, because everybody's different. Now, my husband, he took his first vaccination this past week. He had symptoms from it. He got real sick. It was like he had COVID all over again, his symptoms and everything. So I didn't have that, but he did. So again, just got to know your body. I would tell anybody and everybody before you take it, just do the research on it. Part of what I was advised, when you're going through taking the vaccination, is make sure you've rested. You get plenty of rest before you take it, and get plenty of rest after you take it. Some people do and some people don't. She said, I finished taking mine and I went and walked 3 miles. So, but she's an avid person. I'm not. I don't exercise that she does. Me walking 3 miles would have probably put me under. So you got to know your body. You got to know what you do. You know what's best for you, and pray. Did my prayed? I said, God, let this do what it is supposed to. Please don't let me have any side effects. So the doctors practice medicine. That's what they do. Jesus, he's the healer.
Yeah.
Doctors don't know, they practice. Healing comes from God. So I trust in that, stand on that, and just keep on moving. So we are people of faith, and we got to have faith in whatever we do. We got to have faith in the medicine that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And move forward. But again, I've had both of them, and if I found out something different today, did you realize that it only lasts for a year? You got to do the same thing again next year, like the flu.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was a new one for me.
I didn't. Well,
I thought it was like.
I didn't know for sure, but it sounds about right. I guess if you have to take the flu shots once a year, I guess it would be the same for this. Yeah. So, Yvonne, Miss Yvonne Loudon, you mentioned that and recommended to take 2 doses, not the 1 dose. Is there any way you can put in there why they recommended that? And for those who are just not tuning in, I see quite a few coming in late as we're getting ready to wrap up. But I want you to know we're talking about COVID long haulers today, and we 4 have experienced a long haul experience, and hopefully Miss Loudon can respond, and we'll come back to her. But for now, as we wrap up, I'm going to ask if we can give our final thoughts. What if we never get? What if you never get better? Do you? And you may not. I don't know how I could have asked that question better. What I'm looking for, I guess. How will you deal with if it doesn't get better? Because the case is still out there for some that it won't get better. Now I've heard, and my wife gave me some an article last week that some long haulers that had taken the vaccine felt better after taking it. So I'm hoping, with all hope, that after my initial reaction, that it will cause me to feel better. But let's say, Miss Tammy, what's your final thoughts? Do you?
As far as if it doesn't get better, being a believer, I know that everything happens for a reason. And there are some good things that has come out of COVID. Families have become closer, spending more time together, things of that sort. So I just feel like if it doesn't get any better, I'll just play the cards that I'm dealt with. Keep the faith and continue to do what I can do. If God has allowed certain things to happen, I honestly believe it's happening for a reason. So on that note, I just will take one day at a time.
Very good. I like that. And appreciate that. All right. Pastor Smith.
I did a take one day at a time. What Tammy said was excellent. Take one day at a time. If God brings you to it, He'll bring you through it. If you get lemonade.
Amen.
And keep on keeping on. Yes, yes. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay positive and I'm going to stay faithful because I know God is able.
All right. All right. And Brother Willie, seems like the worst of us all.
Well, I'll tell you what one pastor said: if I get it, I'm all right. If I don't get it, I'm still all right. If I die, if it takes me out of here, I'm going to be with him. So either way, I'm all right.
All right. All right. I like that. I like all of that. Hey man, I just want to say I'm gonna bottle up all of what you guys just said, and that there has encouraged me. It encouraged me because I don't have anyone else to refer to, and it has me sometimes looking at God kind of cross-eyed. But the thoughts of what each of you have said has been some of the thoughts that have crossed my mind, and I've hung my hat on taking one day at a time. I was studying today where we pray and have faith uh, for healing, and if I'm not healed on this side, I have faith that y'all see me on the other side. I'll be running and jumping and doing everything else again. So that's the type of God that we serve. All right, let me see what Yvonne says before we close. A friend of mine who's Kim has said taking it in 2 doses because I have, oh, okay, congested heart failure. Okay, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense, and that might be why that one dose being a whole lot going in at one time. And so, yeah, okay, all right. There's another question. All right, okay. All right. Again, thank you all for taking the time to be with us, and I pray that your information, your testimony has at least made people aware to continue to be safe out there. Um, in my opinion, if you get it and you don't die, this is the next worst thing that you can deal with. So be safe and let God continue to guide you. And again, thank you. All right, y'all have a blessed day. And anything I can do for you guys, y'all let me know, and I'll try my best to do it. I do what I can. How about that? All right. Thank y'all again, and may God bless you all.
You too, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you all for being with us on tonight, and hopefully again that you have been well informed of this long haul condition, and I'm grateful for having you guys to be able to share with those of you that are audience listeners, and I'm very grateful for those who have been affected by it. So if you need any more information about COVID and some of the symptoms and the things that you may have to go through if you do contract it, or you have family members, feel free to send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to share with you. But do keep myself in prayer, and many of those across the nation that are becoming long haulers. And so may God bless you, and thank you for being with us on tonight. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday for our Bible study. We are talking about pleasing God through faith, and so this is one of the areas in faith that I'll be able to testify to. All right, may God bless you and have a good rest of the evening.